this. And
yeah, for sure.
And I think, we can think about these formal definitions of burnout, and they're helpful for sure. But a lot of times in reality, burnout and chronic stress are going to show up for people as changes in their mood, irritability. That was a big one for me. I found that, again, especially going through COVID, when in the very beginning, when things were really, really hard, and we didn't. My husband and I reminisce now, thinking back on how we would, you'd have to change out of your scrubs, shower at the hospital, put your scrubs in a bag. We were so terrified of this, and during those really heightened times, I was very irritable. And I did not recognize that as a sign of stress or burnout for me, but I was much more short-tempered, more emotionally labile. I would kind of snap at my kids a little bit more than I normally would, and have a lot more guilt and shame around that too.
Right.
And that shows up for a lot of people, for sure. And then I think too, like these self-sabotaging behaviors that we get into, where we don't stop and realize what's going on, but maybe we go from drinking one glass of wine every couple nights to having a glass of wine or two every night when we get home from work, just to decompress, or or you're just craving different things, or you're binging on things that taste good or feel good in the moment, but then they make your stomach hurt later, give you the runs in an hour, but you just it's sort of like you kind of ignore those things. But again, I bring that up to say that those can be your signs of burnout if you're starting to see those things.
Totally. Yeah. One of the first things I notice when I start to get stressed is, changing my eating. And I just started learning about how the cortisol release actually triggers, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm not a doctor, insulin. It triggers insulin. So your body can mobilize blood sugar, which makes your blood sugar drop, which makes you crave more sugar, which makes you get on this roller coaster of blood sugar, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, that's basically right. And that's why, these chronic states of high cortisol can lead to weight gain, diabetes, metabolic syndrome. And it's interesting, this is kind of a side comment, but when you think about people who work night shifts, or parents who are up all night with their little kids, and then your sleep gets all messed up, and your cortisol levels are fluctuating in a very different way than if you're on a normal day-night schedule.
Right.
So then you start to realize, wow, why am I, I'm so hungry all day. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I just want to eat all day. Just to get a little bit of energy or something. Yeah.
Exactly. And you start craving different things, and you